Time for Task and Twos.
Hey, Ticat fans, welcome to the Task and Twos show. I'm Luke Tasker. We're on the Ticats Audio Network, I'm joined by legendary Andy Fantuz, my good buddy, one of my favorite teammates. Andy, how you doing this morning?
Excellent. Doing well. I'm up at the cottage, just enjoying a few days away. So
nice, man.
A little change of scenery, but it's great. It's nice and quiet this morning.
That's perfect. I'm actually on the road on a family vacation down to Myrtle Beach. So I'm down in West Virginia, so we can beauty of modern technology. We can hold our Ticats podcast from all over North America. So good to see you, man. The biggest news right now, I think, is that our host here, Andy Fantuz, is going to be recognized out in Regina this season. Andy, congratulations, man. What an honor.
Oh, thanks, bud. I got the call a couple of weeks ago and going to get inducted in the Plaza of Honour, which is the Saskatchewan version of, the Hall of Fame. And it's an event that's really special out there. And I'm very honored to be named amongst the people who paved the way before me and some of my old former teammates. A good buddy of mine, similar relationship which I had with you, Luke, a guy named Chris Getzlaff. Really close buddy of mine. We played right next to each other, just like me and you did, just like you and I did, and got along really well off the field as well as on the field. So he's going to be he's in the same class this year with me. So that'll be special. And then one day I'll be watching you get inducted to the Ticats Hall of Fame. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, that's cool, man. So how many guys are going in this class with you?
There's four. There's four right now.
Is that every year they do four? Is it like that?
I think so. Yeah, it's something like that. And there's usually a builder, one or two, semi-recent players, and then one of the players is from back in the 50s.
Wow, cool.
So it's I don't know how it's going to look this year, but I've been to this event in the past when I was playing out there, and there's a ceremony with, a bunch, like the team comes and then a bunch of sponsors and old alumni come. Mm-hmm. So there's a smaller group, and then there's a bigger convention center type atmosphere recognition. And then on the game, they'll walk the inductees out onto the field and recognize them in front of the fans. So it's sort of a 3-day event. It's going to be fun to go back out there and, see some old faces and just hang out. And, my wife and I are going to go, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's fantastic, man. In the new stadium there, where is your name going to be sort of put in stone for all of time? I can't picture where the storied class is, but do you know where it is?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if it's
the Plaza of Honor. Did they say
the Plaza? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I honestly haven't even been to the new stadium, so I don't know what it looks like. But maybe there's an area inside the concourse or something that they put some plaques on. I would guess.
Cool. That is so awesome, man. Good for you. You deserve it. That's fantastic. I'm trying to imagine. Is there any? Are you maybe Getzlaff obviously was playing until recent years as well. But is there any other modern players that have gone in? Are you maybe the youngest of the Plaza of Honor inductees? I would wonder.
You might. That might be accurate. I'm not sure.
It's hard to imagine anyone who is playing more recently than you that's inducted, right? You're probably the most modern member, I think.
Yeah, that's probably true. But maybe there was somebody, from. Yeah, it's probably true. But maybe there's someone that retired 3 years ago but didn't play as long as I did. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, it's
congratulations,
good.
Man.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun out there. We had some good times. We had, part of the Canadian Air Force, which was a cool little thing whenever we had a bunch of Canadians running around out there at the same time. Uh-huh. You would have been an honorary Canadian like you always were.
Of course, naturally.
We had our own out there. His name was Weston Dressler, and kind of a similar player. Similar
Oh
style.
yeah, of course.
Or similar size, anyways.
Got a chance to meet Dressler a couple times, and that was one of our common ground that we had, because all of our teammates, when they came in, always assumed that we were Canadian for whatever reason. I mean, I don't want to get into why they made these assumptions, but Dressler and I were always were always assumed, small little guys, always Canadian, and that was funny. But he was a great player as well. I assume. I mean, he had a long career in Sask as well. I wouldn't surprise me if he was a honorary Sask member as well in the future.
Oh yeah, you can bet on that for sure.
Well, great, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll on to the Ticats here, and I'm sure we'll touch on this later in the season again. And sorry, one last thing. Do you know when you're going out there?
Yeah, it's the game, I think, is the 8th. So it's the 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe, of October.
Cool, man.
So right before we have our Labor Day Monday, our Thanksgiving Monday game here in Hamilton. Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, we'll touch on that again as we get into the season. So, all right, on to the Ticats. Did you see that so obviously you heard the Argos game got canceled, which then, and I guess the COVID breakout was with the Elks, but that does allow the Argos now 15 days to get ready for the Labor Day Classic. It's not exactly, I mean, at least the outsider's eye, it's not exactly how you write it up for the Ticats. What's your take on that? Is that a huge advantage for the Argos?
I think that if you have some people banged up, and that could be an advantage. Like, I think it's an advantage to get guys healthy and to sort of, just relax. But I think the biggest thing is injury wise. I don't necessarily think extra week of practice makes a better product on the field, because sometimes you put more stress, and you get out of more stress on the install, and you kind of get out of your system as you're in your routine. So we always had those extra days and bye weeks. I didn't necessarily think we played any better from them. But it does help if you have guys nicked up and make sure everyone's healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that as far as the Ticats. I mean, it is what it is. So you can't control it. So just control what you can control. And that would be, having a better showing here against Montreal, and then learning from that and continuing to get better. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
what about you? What do you think?
Well, I remember on both sides. So when you have that realization that even if it's this game cancellation is unusual, but for a regular bye week, and you have that where your future opponent has a bye week, and you have that realization, it's a little unsettling to think, wow, we're still thinking about BC or whatever, but Ottawa is already thinking about us, and that's a little strange when you realize that. It's a little unsettling when you get into that. But on the flip side, when it's you with the bye week, or you with in this case a canceled game, I agree with you. I actually don't think that the value is that big, apart from the physical. It is huge. Any rest week is huge during a season physically for you and your teammates to just have one less game to just get banged up, and an extended week to rest. But the preparation, I think that football teams, players, coaches are so accustomed to prepping in a 1 week time span that when you get 2 weeks, sometimes it's almost unneeded, or you can overdo it, or you can overthink things when really the execution of the simple things is what's going to win the game anyways. So as a player past my playing years, I can have that perspective to say I don't actually think it's as big of an advantage as it might appear to be. But I remember as a player that unsettling feeling that a team is already preparing for you, and you're still focused on an opponent ahead of them. We'll see. I actually wonder if I had to make a prediction. I think that the part of the game that benefits most from a bye week or an extended week of preparation is the special teams. Because I do think that there are times during the season where special teams preparation and special teams schemes or install can get cut short. It gets sliced off of the work week, especially on a condensed week, and you have to go back to your basics. I could see Jeff Reinbold in a case like this, and in our case right now, as the Ticats coming out of the bye week, I could see some really detailed special teams approach coming in. And I don't want to overstate it as if it's trick plays or something like that, but I just mean just some really, really detailed approach on the coverage game and on the punt game, especially. Hopefully we see that this week in Montreal, a win on the special team side of the ball.
That's a great call. Yeah, I agree with that. And the chance, if I was a coach, and I know, like you said with Jeff, like you're going to work on fundamentals, and even offense and defense, like that would be a chance for us as receivers to work on our fundamentals of getting in and out of cuts and our route running technique instead of just blasting scheme and plays over and over. It's a chance to kind of like dial it back and just get better individually. So I think that's a great use of a bye week.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a kind of akin to the team that has gets first place and get the bye week going into the playoffs, except for in this scenario, the Ticats, have to play and then they're playing at home. Cause I think it's not necessarily that team who gets the bye week and going into the playoffs who has a better chance to win, but they do have home field advantage, which is a big advantage. So, but you often see, the second or third place team come in and surprise them and go on to the Grey Cup. So
you're absolutely right.
I wouldn't, yeah.
It's like,
I agree. This is a good chance. Go ahead. Yeah.
So sometimes that wild card game in the playoffs, if a team really dominates that game, you almost think, and if they're healthy, that's huge. So if they suffer a impactful injury there, that's really costly. But if they're reasonably healthy and they really play well in that wild card game, the semifinal, it's almost like they have the advantage. They're coming off, they have a momentum of winning and executing, whereas that late bye week can sometimes get a team a little off. Sometimes it's hard to do. I remember in 2013, you and I when we went into Toronto and beat the Argonauts in the Eastern final after their bye week, and they were favored to win. And we had a really fascinating, a really exciting game in the semifinal at Guelph against Montreal. Just, you get that momentum, and sometimes that carries you. So maybe a win this week in Montreal is maybe exactly what the Ticats need to then have a great Labor Day Classic. We'll see.
Yeah, it all starts this week. And they're going to be the first ones to say, the whole team will be, they're not looking at Labor Day yet. All of us are excited because it's football back in Hamilton, and it will be amazing. It will be an incredible atmosphere, but the team's going to be 100% focused for Friday night right now.
Yeah, 100%. That's I had the Coach O show yesterday talking with Coach Orlando Steinhauer, and obviously what you'd expect. I mean, there's no hypothesizing about the future season that's weeks away. They're all focused on one thing, and they rested up over the bye week, and now they're getting back at it. So this week, things to watch for the Montreal game. I mean, we're both biased because we're wide receivers, but I really want to see some pass production on offense. I want to see a healthier second down situation where it's not always 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. To try to move the chains. I want to see some run production would be great to give the offensive linemen a break in their pass schemes, but I want to see some strikes downfield, man. I want to see Speedy light it up a little bit,
Yeah, let's just call a spade, and like the offense has got to kick it in gear. The specials played better last game. Defense wasn't even that bad. I mean, got a little sloppy. It was a similar game to the first game. When they got tired, it got a little sloppy, but really it's the offense that's, pulling that hammer and the ball and chain right now. So I couldn't agree more. We got to strike early, strike fast, spread the ball around. And we don't have to force it downfield because it'll come, but we do need to take some shots and open things up for the underneath game and the misdirection game. Yeah, man.
We need a little Andy Fantuz on a 6-yard Oscar route to the boundary side. Turn it up. That's what we need right now. Well, we'll see. And I don't think it's worth us hypothesizing about the quarterback situation. There's really nothing to be known about that yet. But we'll see. We'll see how that shakes down. But it's interesting. It's not that we have a question mark for, is there going to be a young backup that comes in? And we're not talking about a vet versus an inexperienced player. Obviously, Mazzoli has years and years of experience in high-level play, but Dane has a year of great football under him as well. So we'll see. But one of them is going to get an opportunity to play at the level that we've seen them before, and I'm excited to watch that happen, man. Ticat fans, I appreciate you guys joining in. This is the Ticats Audio Network, and this is the Task and Tuz Show, weekly update with Andy Fantuz and myself, Luke Tasker. We'll be back next week after the Ticats play Montreal Alouettes. We'll be prepping for the Labor Day Classic, the first football game in Hamilton since 2019. First things first, we're going to go to Montreal and see how the Ticats handle business there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week. Andy, see you, man.
So yeah, have a good trip, bud.